Alison, if I said you couldn't make this up, I would normally be right, but this is for real. What I can't understand is how a company like Nike can get it so wrong.
Absolutely. And one of the things that clearly happens in these big corporates is that there's an assumption that the due diligence is done in one part of the business, that part assumes the other part's done the homework, and actually it's clearly fallen between the cracks, and no one's done it. And a simple Google search would have told them that black and tan is probably not going to be sellable everywhere.
You and I know, Alison, that Nike isn't the only company that's had an about-face after a marketing blunder, and that's what these guys are going to have to sort out at this point. In 2002, for example, sportswear maker Umbro had to apologise after naming one of its shoes Zyklon. That's because it was the same name as the deadly gas used by the Nazis, for example, in the Holocaust. When Honda released this new car, it was originally called Fitter. Little did they know that these same Nordic languages, Fitter is a slang word for female genitals, and they quickly changed the name to Honda Jazz in most markets after realising their mistake. A fairly safe name, one would assume. And finally, Abercrombie and Fitch had to recall a line of T-shirts which featured Asian and cartoon characters after thousands of complaints. We live in a global world. These are big global companies. You say this due diligence can sort of slip through the cracks of more often big companies than smaller ones. But, you know, in a world of globalisation, you've just got to do your homework.
Of course you do. And one of the things that's really interesting is very often it's a U.S. company who assumes that the rest of the world is like them. Because they don't know, they're not. Yeah. And actually, they need to get out a little more. They need to consult their local markets. They need to make sure that they've absolutely done their homework very methodically, very carefully. But obviously, in this case, that's not happened.
So what do you do if you're Nike now?
Well, a few things. To try to fix the blunder, you probably recall the shoe, or you give it a new name. You stop calling it black and tan. You change the colors. You educate the people that are selling the shoe to not refer to it as the black and tan. And obviously, in some of the retail outlets, that's what it's being called, because that's the word on the street for that particular model. So you recall it, you apologize, you take swift action. You've got to be quick. You've got to demonstrate that you're really serious. You don't just let it subside. That's the worst thing to do.
If I suggested that there will be heads rolling at Nike this weekend, would I be right, possibly?
I think you probably would. I think if certainly I was leading the marketing function at that company, I would be looking to find out how that could possibly happen. It costs a lot of money. Yeah.